Hello viewers, happy Friday. Actually, it's International Women's Day, so happy Friday to all of you from Eric and
Marie.
We celebrate you for the good work that you've been doing in our lives, especially from a man's point of view. I think we don't appreciate you women enough. So Marie, I appreciate you for the good work that you've been doing in my life.
Thank
And for your
you.
contributions. And
Thank
for
you.
all the women out there, happy International Women's Day.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We do, and I appreciate it on behalf of my sisters as well. So,
That's
yeah,
right.
thank you. Thank you. And also, to all my sisters, women, mothers, everybody. Happy International Women's Day to everybody. I hope we all make the most of it and really inspire each other, motivate each other, and just be each other's keeper, really. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, happy International Women's Day to everyone.
Yeah, so today's topic is a very good one, and it's about how we balance our life and our relationships. So how we make sure that we are effective in both areas without necessarily one area suffering. So guys, you all know that these days it gets so busy with the demands of this world that if you're not careful, your relationship will be like juggling balls, basically. You have so many demands on your life. Let's say you'll be attending to your work, or you'll be attending to your finances, or you'll be attending to your businesses, and you also have to attend to your relationship. And it becomes a bit like juggling balls, basically. So how do we make sure that we have we've stricken the balance in all these areas? What do you think, Marie?
For me, I would say when it comes to work-life balance, it's something most of us as a woman, and today being International Women's Day, it's something I've trained myself to know how to do. So, for example, I'm studying, I'm a social media commentator or political commentator, so I have to make political videos. At the same time, I have to take care of the home. Mentally, I've learned how to prioritize my daily chores or my duties in the course of the day. So for me, I think it's about setting your priorities, knowing what's important, and then as well, always remembering that, you're married and the relationship or the marriage itself needs attention as well. And this is where we have to make conscious efforts of maybe checking in with each other at the end of the day, whether it's sitting together, watching television, finding a program that both can enjoy to watch so that there's some kind of communication going on, or something that can get both of you talking and having a discussion that is, nice and relaxed. And then of course the usual things like throwing in date nights every so often, if you can, which is advisable. It does help. Or whether it's going to the gym together, going to do the grocery shopping, to just finding some unique moments, or moments that it's just the two of you, just to give each other that quality time. So for me, I'll say work-life balance is all about priorities, setting your priorities right.
All right. Okay. So from what I gather from what you've said, I mean, you've touched on different areas that can make relationships thrive, basically.
Yeah.
So let's focus on the quality time. One area that a lot of people think of is that you have to spend time with your partner, and that is it. That's the end of it. So they try and put in a lot of time sitting down together, but they forget that it's not about just the time, but it's about the quality in the time that you spend together.
Yeah.
So it can be, let's say, it can be 30 minutes that you get to spend with your partners, but it's more to do with the type of quality that you bring to it. Let's say in that 30 minutes, you are able to go into deep conversations with each other, whereby you check in. Marie did mention that you check in on each other, whereby you actually not just be there or just be present, but be there for each other, asking questions to do with how, let's say, their day has been, how their week has been, how they are feeling mentally. Because since the time of COVID, we've had a lot of people having mental stress, or the level of mental stress has risen. So when we talk about time, it's not just time, but the quality within the time that you spend. As opposed to, let's say, spending 4 hours in a day being there with your partner and thinking that that's it. No, you need time to do other things in life as well. So I see work-life balance, or making sure you strike the balance between your relationship and your work, as well as spending quality time rather than just spending time together. So that's one tip right there.
Yeah. And then I think as Eric was talking, it just, I just had a thought come to me that when we say work-life balance, I don't think we're talking about our work as in what we do 9 to 5, as in work. You getting up in the morning to go to your engineering job or your bank job or whatever. Work could even be over the weekends. You being at home and having, chores to do. Say you have to do the cooking for the weekend. You've got some washing to do, some cleaning of the house, etc., etc. At the end of the day, you could be tired and as a result, not be able to make time for the relationship. And that could also be the moment that your spouse might be needing you emotionally. So I think it's all about knowing yourself, knowing your partner, and also reading the mood at all times. And it can be difficult, it can be challenging because we're human beings. Sometimes you need time for yourself, but that's when your partner also needs you emotionally. And it's about striking that balance so that you don't come across as if you're selfish. You're thinking about yourself only. So for me, I think it's about reading the mood at all times. And then I think there's also a factor of, it depends on the bond between the two couples or the two people in the relationship. If there isn't really of a much of a bond, then I can see why somebody might be selfish as well, because it's like, if I want time for myself and you need me emotionally at that time, why must I sacrifice my me time or my personal quality time? Because our own personal quality time is also very important in order for us to be whole, so that we can also give to our partners, especially as you mentioned, mental health and all these things, as it's developed more over the last couple of years, post-COVID and all that. So yeah.
Marie has mentioned personal time, and I think it's really, really important. I quite remember in our early times when we first met, we had different jobs in different areas of London, and I was doing the night shift. I was working at the post office, can you imagine, at that time? And I used to spend about 16 hours because, hey, I've come to London and I need all the money that I can get, so to speak. And I was working serious hours. Marie was also working, I think, from 6 a.m., wasn't it? Or in the morning?
Yeah, well, I used to catch my bus at the time around 6 in
That's
the morning.
right.
Yeah.
So what we used to do is we met at the bus stop back in the days, in the mid-90s. We met at the bus stop, say our hellos and our goodbyes at that time. And Marie will come back in the evening, and as she came home, that's the time I'm also leaving for work. So we didn't have enough time to spend physically with each other, but we made sure that we caught up with each other during the weekends, basically. So at the early stage of our marriage, that's when we got time to spend with each other. Now, talking about spending time alone, it's really, really important because as an individual, you need space to think, to create, to do your own things. So I would say that it's really important for us to give our partners also the time to be themselves. Otherwise, if they are not refreshed, how can they come and give you the best of themselves? So let's make sure that we also balance that. And talking about work-life balance is more to do with any time that you are not spending together as husband and wife. I see that as you working or you spending time with yourselves. The moment the two of you come together, that's the balance you are striking in your relationship. So as Marie mentioned earlier, it's not to do with 9 to 5s, but more to do with how can we balance the time we spend alone doing our own stuff and then the time we spend together, making sure that our relationship thrives.
Yeah. And also, I think even to extend that a bit, it's also about sometimes sacrificing. So let me give an example. We're going to be having a visitor from Ghana in the next couple of weeks. And I was planning something yesterday. So when I mentioned it to Eric and I said, oh, perhaps we could do such and such with our guests around this time. Eric said, oh, I might have to be in a meeting, go attend a meeting in London. But I'll have a look again. And if I have to shelve it or, cancel going to London so that I can be with you and the guests, then I'll do that. That's also work-life balance in a way. It's about striking that balance, as I said earlier, so that you're not just thinking about yourself, because this person is coming to visit both of us, not just me or not just you. It's both of us. It's our guest, so we both must be present for this person.
Yeah.
And so the fact, I really appreciated yesterday when he said, oh, he'll if the meeting falls on that day, then he'll forego going to London and stay here with us so that we can all be here with our guests and make sure they are comfortable. That is sacrifice in itself, and it all forms part of the balance that we're talking about in marriage. So that it's not like, oh, I have to attend a meeting in London, so you take care of them, and because I have to go. No, it's about, I really needed to go, but I'm going to make that sacrifice, and then it's about the other party also appreciating whoever is making the sacrifice at any given moment. So when we say work-life balance, I think it entails a lot.
And I totally agree with you. To add to what you've said, I think it's more to do with also to do with compromising with each other. Because when you live in that situation of compromising, it's more to do with putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and then you meet them halfway. So what the example that Marie gave is a typical good one, whereby I wasn't thinking of just myself. It was, if I was thinking of just myself in this relationship, I would have gone to my meeting. This guest is coming from Ghana, and she doesn't come here more often. So this one is a special one, especially during Easter holidays. So the best I can do is also be flexible. The relationship is all about being flexible, considering each other's needs, making sure you put yourself in the other person's shoes, be compassionate, compromise when you need to. Empathetic, but make sure that the other person is not taking advantage of that situation.
That's right.
And it works both ways. In relationship, we should make sure that if we are compromising, you shouldn't push your agenda to the detriment of the other person's comfort or their well-being.
And I like the word well-being. That's because yesterday when he said that, it was that little, that moment of joy, happiness, and at least he's gonna be here. For me, it was a sense of security, because if Eric is here with us, I know, if I need anything, say for example I'm cooking for the guest and I run out of something, I know Eric will be there to quickly get in the car and get it for me. So it's just having that sense of security, knowing, or he's going to be here, or he's going to be around. It's nice, it helps. So I think when we say work-life balance in any relationship, marriage, boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, even in friendships or family settings, which are still relationships, but we focus more on marriage, I think it's about examining oneself internally, examining your surroundings, examining the relationship, being aware of what's going on at any given moment, because it is the awareness that will make you notice whether your husband or your wife needs you at any particular moment. And in that moment, as Eric said, if you need to compromise, you must do it. If you have to sacrifice something, you must try your best to do it. And that is striking that balance. So that it's not just about you and your needs only, but it's about us.
Yeah, exactly. So these are areas that we can summarize on. You did mention earlier that you need time to, let's say, go to pampering sessions and the rest. I think they are really important. They are areas that you can purposely or consciously decide on so that your marriage will thrive, or so that the quality of your time spent together will be well worth it. And these areas include what? Pampering sessions. So make it a point to, let's say, go to events where you can pamper yourselves, whether it's to a music show, whether it's to, what's it called? Pamper yourself, let's say massage sessions, spa sessions, let's say you go to the gym together. So events that both of you enjoy together, that can be counted as making a conscious effort to pamper yourselves. Let's say both of you enjoy going to the shop to buy yourself gifts. So anything, just choose something that you both enjoy doing. Another thing,
or you could create something at home, a nice ambience at home.
Exactly.
Stay at home and enjoy yourselves, watch a movie, glass of wine, some crackers, some grapes, some you don't have to necessarily go out to pamper yourself. You could still do it at home.
And if you want to go out, why not?
Of course. If you want to go, you go. If you can't afford it, you want a less costly option, you want to do something at home too. You can always create something at home and do so. I suppose what we're saying is that the most important thing is to do things together, make a conscious effort to do things together, because that is what will create the balance. I think the subject of the conversation or the discussion is, we are looking at how we can create a balance in the relationship. So it's more so focusing on both.
Exactly, as opposed to just an individual. So hope you've enjoyed this discussion. But in the comment box, let us know how you've been handling your relationship to make it thrive. Because if you don't really pay a conscious effort to what we've talked about and many more, your relationships will suffer. If you're chasing the dollar or the pound or the CD too much and neglecting your duties at home or with your partner, definitely one will give. It's about striking the balance, as Marie said.
Yeah.
So guys,
And not taking each other for granted.
And not taking each other. Yes. I think familiarity brings that. When you've lived with the person for far too long, you might take the person for granted. But let us know in the comment box what you think about this topic. Tell us your stories. Without going too deep, of course. And make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Make sure that we bring you good stuff at all times.
And thanks to all our new subscribers. We really appreciate it. So kindly just copy the link, share it with your contacts, and draw them onto the channel so that we all become a community. I think we're on close to about 600 subscribers now. So help us get to our first 1,000. And yeah, help us get to our first 1,000, and let's grow the channel together. Thank you.
God bless you. Have a great day. Peace out.
And a nice weekend.